Welcome back, YouTube, to another episode here at WILDMAN Lifts. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now on today's episode, let me tell you something. I am really tired. And not physically tired, I'm not getting enough sleep tired. And it kind of sparks a lot of questions and a lot of debate. Like, exactly how much sleep and rest do you need in order to make sure that you're getting productive workouts? Is it better to not sleep at all and get some training in? Will people perform better? Or is it better to get enough sleep? And that might seem like a silly inquisition because obviously we need to sleep, right? Human beings need to sleep. And there's been that myth of, we need 8 to 10 hours of sleep at night in order to make sure that we're maintaining a healthy lifestyle and that we're able to perform on our lifts the next day. But sometimes you'll hear, like, especially champions of their strength sports say they didn't sleep the night before because they were so nervous about their competition, and yet they're able to perform better than they've ever been able to perform. So why is that? And I'm sure there's some science behind it, and I don't know what that is, but I do have a lot of opinions about it from my own observations. So I'm going to be talking about that today as I'm working out today, which is going to be the deadlift in giant set format. Also, I'm going to be doing some stones as well. So stay tuned for that, and maybe we can learn something new, and you can watch me get a really good sweat. So let's pop in and let's see what we got going on. Now, before I jump into my sleep cycle rant here coming up, I'm going to explain at least the first workout, which is going to be the strength giant set. I'm going to be starting off by working up to a 3-rep max on the deadlifts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to completely let go of my brace and start over again from the bottom. So I call that single deadlift format because it's a lot harder to do for me to completely let go of my brace and not just rep it out. And as I'm going up in weight, I'm also going to be doing some bar facing burpees. And I really love doing this exercise in particular because it really makes sure that I'm warmed up and it gets my hips and everything open. So as I'm going up in weight on the deadlift, I'm able to do some extra conditioning, but I'm also getting my hips ready for the heavy deadlifts. I'm also going to be flipping that stone over the shoulder. Another great movement to warm up the hips and get everything moving quickly and explosively with that 84-pound calf stone. And then what I would do is I would run out of my bullpen and I would go down to a designated area, turn around and come back. It's 100 meters there and 100 meters back, 200 meters total. By the time I'm done with this workout, it should be 1 mile running. All right, so when it comes to sleep cycles, I'm not a medical professional, so only take this as an opinion from a guy who enjoys lifting weights and occasionally gets enough sleep and sometimes doesn't get enough sleep. And the results may vary when it comes to my workouts. Now, if you go on YouTube and you see like professional strongman, power lifters, bodybuilders, or some type of CrossFit or fitness enthusiast, they're going to say something along the lines of how much sleep they get. And they're going to give you an outline of supplements that they take. If they take like some kind of like machine, like a CPAP or something similar to that, to make sure that they're getting their full cycle of sleep, which would be about 8 to 10 hours is usually what the doctor in the medical field recommends. And I think it's even more for women. I'm not too sure actually. But regardless, if you go on YouTube and you see these fitness enthusiasts talk about sleep cycles and how much sleep they get that they need in order to perform their workouts for the next day, it's going to be a little unrealistic because if you think about it, they get paid to lift weights. So if you're competing at the highest level, no matter what it is, strongman, powerlifting, CrossFit, bodybuilding, or if you're just a YouTube, Instagram fitness influencer, you're also competing at a very high level where you're competing with other people who look just as good as you do. So of course, when your livelihood depends on looking good, feeling good, and lifting weights and performing feats of strength so people will watch your channel, so that your channel can get monetized and that your Instagram could be a professional profile, of course that you're going to want to get enough sleep and you're going to want to do everything that you can, and your whole life is going to circle around it. They're going to have all the time in the world to prepare their meals, to get massages, to get enough sleep, to take supplements to make sure that they go to sleep because they have nothing to do the next day except to get up, work out, and film it. So when it comes to trying to get your advice from those influencers, be really careful because it's a little unrealistic because they're less than 1% of the world. Less than 1%, people. Think about that. The rest of the world is busy and has unpredictable schedules and has other things that need their attention. A lot of us go to work and have to work for a living And then we lift weights because that's what we enjoy doing in our spare time. So if you're one of these people, it's going to make absolutely no sense to follow one of these influencers, no matter how much you wish you could be them. Your life isn't them, and you need to become realistic and realize that you need to adapt your life to what is in front of you and not what you wish you could have. Of course, I'm not saying don't aspire to be something great. If that's what you want to be, again, good for you, go for it. But in the meantime, you're going to probably have to work for a living until you make that big break. And so you might want to follow some realistic advice about sleeping than the average influencer. So really, it comes down to this, in my opinion, just from my own experience, from having a full-time family, a full-time career, and having weird sleep schedules due to, different areas of my life that need my attention. I don't have enough time to sleep sometimes. It's not going to matter how much sleep you got the night before. It's going to be how much sleep are you getting accumulatively. Now, what I mean by that is, let's just take a week, 7 days. Now, if you're getting really good sleep throughout 6 days, and then one of those days you're not getting enough sleep, so let's just say you're getting 8 to 10 hours for 6 days, and then one of those days you fall short, you can't sleep, something hurts, you're really worried about something the next day, and you just can't sleep. You're rolling around, you're trying to get all these thoughts out of your head, but you're losing the battle, and you end up just not getting very much sleep. Sometimes you don't sleep at all, or you get only a few hours of sleep. You actually might notice that when you go in the next day, you're not feeling like terrible. And that's because you've got enough sleep cycle in your week in order to carry you through your bad moments. Because we're human, we're not going to get absolute 100% great sleep every single night. Life is going to happen, and we're going to have to deal with it. And sometimes we think about it too much, we can't sleep. It just happens. But if you're getting like 4 hours of sleep the entire week, and then you get one good day of sleep and you're like, wow, I got one good day of sleep, now I'm gonna hit the gym, you may not have that good of progress. And the reason being is because the rest of the week you didn't get enough sleep, and your body actually wants to make up for those hours that it missed. So even though you may have gotten like 10 hours of sleep, but you were getting 4 hours of sleep the whole week, it's still not enough for the whole week in the cumulative total in order to perform well and to have that recovery cycle while you sleep. So my recommendation is this: if you're not getting one night of good sleep, don't worry about that part. But if you're not getting a good night's sleep almost every single night, that's the time that you need to do something about it. You can either go see a medical professional, which is what I recommend. It's like, hey, I'm not sleeping, what can I do about it? And the doctor will be able to help you get there. There's also some supplements you can take over that's like natural. So you can go to like any vitamin shop store or GNC, and they have natural supplements that will help you go to sleep. And then there's the big ones that I really don't like to take, such as melatonin or ZQL. I really don't like taking those things because it actually makes you feel very groggy the very next day. And I don't think that that's healthy to get a good sleep cycle going. But if you absolutely need that kickstart to start sleeping healthy, then you might want to take those products maybe just one night, but then figure out an alternative that you're going to be able to take repeatedly where you can get a good night's sleep and you don't have to worry about that too much. Now, when it came to today's workout, I was moving kind of slow. It's because I didn't get enough sleep, and I haven't been getting enough sleep actually a couple days now. So it's really affecting me. But what I'm very surprised was I hit everything that I wanted to hit today, and I didn't feel very comfortable, and I felt kind of weird. Like I kind of felt like my back and my legs were not firing the way I wanted them to, but I was still getting it done. And I was super happy with that, because doing deadlift, lifting stones, and then doing back squats is really hard to do if you're not getting enough sleep. I always notice a big difference when I'm working and I'm not getting enough sleep, but then when I'm on my weekends and I'm getting enough sleep again, and I work out after I've gotten a few days of really good sleep, then I'm able to perform really well. And that's some of the highlights that you guys see on my video. But it is kind of refreshing to see that I'm able to still perform and get things I want to get done, even though I believe I'm below my baseline of sleep. So this is good news for me, and I will take this any day. Alrighty, so that's going to conclude it for today's workout. Now, everything went according to plan, but I was moving pretty slowly. And I do believe that's because I haven't been getting enough sleep over the last couple of days. So typically when I'm getting enough sleep and then I get like not a very good night's sleep only one day out of the week, it doesn't affect me too much. But since it's been like 3 days in a row, then it starts to affect my body and it starts to affect my performance. But today I was able to hit what I wanted to hit, even with that obstacle in my way. Because I'm just like you and every other person out there. I do this as a hobby. I need to make sure that my energy is primarily put into my family so we can have fun family moments and fun family memories. I got to make sure my bills get paid, which means I need to perform well at work. And sometimes I work really weird hours and long hours. So I kind of have to adjust and adapt on the fly during the week with my sleep schedule. But fortunately for me, it went well today, and I will take that any day. Really appreciate everybody stopping by. I hope that you all learned something new. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.